that seldom sells with higher end, so there's a lot of other options.
You got to use that for your advantage. We can see that some health really is I'm a technician that's going to be doing this. And, we're not. I always tell people it's not the case. Get on the street and find someone or not, but we do go down, and it usually sells the product.
Yeah. They're putting me through this class here to kind of ease me into it and learn some, how to talk to customers and stuff. 10 more years, maybe I'll be. Kind of falling into it, not really.
So I got into tile.
Yeah.
For what?
Hey,
I don't like seeing those.
I know, that's why I'm saying I don't like this.
Yeah.
probably talking to us, doing all that. That's good. How you doing, buddy? Wow.
What's up, Angelo? How you doing, buddy?
Hello, dear.
I remember when you guys were getting into trouble like this. I was like,
yeah. Spent a lot of time together.
I took on extra because I was required to so it's just my schedule.
In the morning, you'd be out riding bikes around, and home later at night. Yep, we'd be gone.
There's no way I would look like Ride our bikes to the shopping center. Running the stores.
Don't click the lights. Well, that's what I know when you're ready. Well, Tina, I was sitting here and the Leonard sitting over there. Well, Matt and Ray are sitting over there.
There's some room over here.
What's that? Oh, sure.
Just tell me what you want me to do.
Are you giving all the songs you have?
Ready? Yes. Do you want it after the music?
No, at the beginning. You can do it.
Now, start it.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Karen, the Destin family, and Elvis, thank you for coming to celebrate the life and times of she who is fondly known as Sugar. Earlier this week, I sat down with Doug, Tina, and Kurt to discuss how they would like this celebration to unfold. One of my first questions was, how did the name Sugar come to be? Well, I'm told it happened like this. When Matthew, Sugar's grandson, was little and asking for a hug or a kiss, she would say, "Come on, give me some sugar." Matt soon came to associate the hugs and kisses with the word sugar, and by extension, his grandmother. Soon, he was calling her Sugar. The name stuck. She, for all intents and purposes, became Sugar, or the woman formerly known as Karen. From all reports, it was an apt nickname, because who doesn't love sugar? And everybody loved Sugar. When I asked what adjectives would describe her best, several were forthcoming. Kind, warm, caring, fun, funny, to name a few. It became clear rather quickly that the common denominator in all those descriptors was love. She loved fiercely. Her children, her grandchildren, her extended family. Never one to pass up a good time. She also loved fast cars, fast horses, fast music, and, well, things that were, just fast. She loved her Green Bay Packers. She loved to laugh, loud and long. No one had more fun at a family gathering, including the Christmases she loved to host, than Sugar. Her love also manifested in the care of her patients. A lifelong nurse, she took great pride in administering to those who were unwell. She became the de facto medical expert in the neighborhood. If you had a rash, a cough, or just an unexplained something or other, go call Kurt's mom. Or give Mrs. Despin a ring, she'll know what to do. We have with us this evening some representatives from the Wisconsin Nurses Honor Guard, an organization honoring those who have dedicated their lives to the nursing profession. Ladies.
The Wisconsin Nurses Honor Guard would like to thank the family, friends, and colleagues of Karen Despin for inviting us here today to help celebrate her life and nursing career. Nursing is a profession and a calling. We and the nurses who are gathered here today are here to honor our colleague Karen, as she will not only be remembered for her years of service, but by the difference she made during those years just by entering into people's lives at significant moments. Karen graduated from Kenosha Vocational and Adult School for Practical Nurses in 1960 and began her nursing career. She dedicated her career as an LPN to caring for others with skill, compassion, and kindness. She spent much of her time in the recovery room and emergency department, where her calm presence and gentle care brought comfort to countless patients and families. Karen truly loved being a nurse and valued her years at Kenosha Memorial Hospital, where she made a difference every day. She retired from Aurora Hospital in Kenosha in 2003. Her passion for nursing and her dedication to others will always be remembered with gratitude and respect. We now invite any fellow nurses here today to stand in honor of Karen while we read the Nightingale Pledge.
I solemnly pledge myself in the presence of this assembly to practice the profession of nursing faithfully. I will abstain from behavior that is detrimental, avoiding any care that will cause harm. I will do all in my power to maintain and elevate the standard of my profession and will hold in confidence all personal and family matters. With loyalty, I will maintain a professional relationship with all the healthcare team and devote myself to the welfare of my patients.
As a nurse, Karen brought comfort to each one of her patients, becoming a light in moments of darkness. The bright shining light of the Nightingale lamp represents this same comfort. This lamp is a symbol of the devotion of those who are called to serve in the nursing profession.
She was there when a calming, quiet presence was all that was needed. Karen was there. In the excitement and miracle of birth, or in the mystery and loss of life, Karen was there. When a silent glance could uplift a patient, family member, or friend, Karen was there. When the situation demanded a swift foot and a sharp mind, Karen was there. When a gentle touch, a firm or encouraging word was needed, Karen was there. To witness humanity in its beauty, in good times and bad, without judgment, Karen was there. To embrace the woes of the world willingly and offer hope, Karen was there. And now that it is time to be at the Great One's side, Nurse Karen is there.
Nurse Karen, please report for duty.
Nurse Karen, please report for duty.
Nurse Karen, please report for duty.
Nurse Karen, you have served your profession with dignity, integrity, and compassion. You have been relieved of your earthly duties. Your nursing brothers and sisters will take it from here. On behalf of the Wisconsin Nurses Honor Guard, and in honor of Karen, we present to you a white rose that represents compassion and an unconditional loyalty and commitment to nursing. The Wisconsin Nurses Honor Guard, myself and the volunteers here with me today, would like to acknowledge the family, friends, and colleagues of Nurse Karen. On behalf of the Guard, we appreciate being invited to honor a fallen colleague. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. That was a lovely tribute. And I know Karen would be ever so grateful for your presence and your kind words. Now, here is another way that Sugar would show her love for those dear to her. Breakfast cereal. Now, I know this sounds a bit odd, while children in neighboring households with less cool moms were forced to gag down old people's cereal, like Raisin Bran and Brave Nuts. None of that for the Desmond kids. Local urchins knew that this was the place to get your hands on the good stuff. Count Chocula? Yep. Lucky Charms? Yep, you got them. Trix, Captain Crunch, Frosted Flakes. Line up and dig in, friends, because we have the coolest mom ever. Love by cereal. Kurt also shared that while Sugar was the coolest of cool moms, she could be a disciplinarian as well, but in a way that was designed to teach you that some things were not okay, like hauling up beer on a rope to the attic window to share with friends, bypassing the need to explain to the cool mom why you were furtively rushing through the room on your way upstairs with a giant brown paper bag. What do you have there, Kurt? Homework? Or, when a certain odor, the kind of thing that generally associated with types like Cheech and Chong, came wafting from downstairs. Kurt, are you burning something? Yeah. Just some incense, Mom. She did. Okay, just don't do anything stupid. Sugar, I'm told, was generally okay with things like that as long as they didn't get out of control. An exception to Sugar's rule of cool, however, involved Kurt, a car, and several stop signs. More on that later. To honor Sugar, Kurt's son John would like to share with you a reading highlighting the many ways Sugar provided endless amounts of love to those around her. John?
Thank you. I have a reading from the book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verses 10 through 31. A wife of noble character who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks. She sees that her trading is profitable, and her lamp does not go off at night. In her hand, she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate.
Thank you, John. Nicely done. Children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Sugar doted on them, and her love was evidenced by what seemed like hundreds of presents piled high around the Christmas tree every year. It is rumored that Santa had to make not one, but several trips down the chimney to check off all the items on the list. Chris tells how when she was a youngster, she really wanted a pair of Colorado hikers. Other presents were okay, but she had to have that pair of Colorado hikers. The usual Christmas morning flurry of gift opening, wrapping paper and ribbon flying everywhere, squeals of delight over this and that, but no Colorado hikers. Chris was crestfallen. Oh wait, Sugar says, I believe I forgot one. I know. She disappears and comes back with a festively wrapped box. In it was
Colorado hikers.
Colorado hikers. Again, coolest mom ever. She was a towering paragon of love to her children and grandchildren, and they in turn were cherished dearly. Aurelia, who Sugar called my little angel, would now like to read a poem of tribute by Maya Angelou, one of Sugar's favorite poets, titled When Great Trees Fall. Aurelia?
When great trees fall, rocks on distant hills shudder. Lions hunker down in tall grasses, and even elephants lumber after safety. When great trees fall in forests, small things recoil into silence, their senses eroded beyond fear. When great souls die, the air around us becomes light, rare, sterile. We breathe briefly, our eyes briefly see with a hurtful clarity. Our memory, suddenly sharpened, examines, gnaws on kind words unsaid, promised walks never taken. Great souls die, and our reality, bound to them, takes leave of us. Our souls, dependent upon their nurture, now shrink, wizened. Our minds, formed and informed by their radiance, fall away. We are not so much maddened as reduced to the unutterable ignorance of dark, cold caves. And when great souls die, after a period, peace blooms, slowly and always irregularly. Space is filled with a kind of soothing electric vibration. Our senses, restored, never to be the same, whisper to us. They existed. They existed. We can be and be better, for they existed. Thank you.
Thank you, Aurelia. That poem elegantly illustrates the legacy of love and support that Sugar showed everyone around her. And she delighted in being supportive of her children. Chris tells how her mother never missed a choral concert. There Sugar was in the stands during all of Kurt's football games, shouting encouragement. And in the audience at all of Doug's plays, clapping louder and longer than all the rest. Doug, I invite you up to share some words and memories about Sugar.
That story. Thank you, everyone, for being here. 58, 59, and 63. That's the number of years my sister, brother, and I had with our mom. Not a bad run, and still not enough time. She was loved so much by so many, and there's so much to tell. She truly was, in every sense of the word, the matriarch of our family. But how do you begin to encapsulate someone's life in the time deemed appropriate for a eulogy? I would need to be up here for hours to touch on the woman my mother was. But luckily for you, I was able to narrow it down to an hour and a half. First and foremost, our mom was a nurse. Starting as a floor nurse, then recovery room, which she loved, and then the ER. She found the energy of the ER exhilarating. She enjoyed new challenges. She was also involved with a group of nurses in trying to bring a union in for better pay for nurses while she was at the hospital. They ended up losing that fight, and she was eventually let go with the other LPNs involved as the hospital proceeded to thin the LPN herd. Disillusioned, she left the work she loved so much, and most of all, and at 46 years of age, she went back to school and acquired a secretarial degree. After a number of years in the secretarial field, nursing pulled her back in, and she finished her career as head nurse for most notably Dr. Amdahl, a respiratory specialist, and then finished her career with Dr. Dana Trotter, an arthritis specialist. She continued to nurse for anyone who would call her for help, which was primarily us, the family. She was our go-to. If she didn't know, she would say, call the doctor. How fortunate we were to have her. Then there's the open house policy that our mother had for all of our friends. It wasn't unusual for our friends to sit in the kitchen and talk with Mom or Mrs. D while waiting for any one of us. In fact, one time, Kurt's friend Steve had come by to pick him up and sat down with Mom and started talking. Well, after 15 minutes of this, Kurt was ready to go. And after another 10 minutes, he was getting a little more irritated. After 35, 40 minutes of this, Kurt had had enough and wondered if Steve had come to hang out with his mom or him. So Kurt left, leaving Steve with Mom. All of our friends felt at home in our house. And then there were the summer cookouts and parties at our house, open to all. Christmas Day at Mom's was a given. No matter where we lived or who we were with at the time, we went to Mom's. Mom would cook a feast. Gift opening in the morning. In the afternoon, some might go and visit other friends and family, but everyone always came back early evening and usually with friends in tow. And there would be eating, drinking, dancing, board games, charades, and the friendly game of cards, spades. She loved to host a party. It always included anyone who wanted to come. Oh, and by the way, she loved, for those who didn't know, she loved Elvis. She even had a room dedicated to him. And her laugh was unmistakable, boisterous with a bit of cackle sprinkled in. And she had a voice that could raise the, well, you know. When I was 4, 5, 6-ish, I couldn't leave the block when I went out and played. And when it was time to come home, even when I was on the other side of the block, I could hear her yelling to me to get home. She could also be a stern disciplinarian when she had to. I remember when Kurt, there seems to be a lot of stories about Kurt, by the way. I remember when Kurt was in his early teens, he and a couple of his buddies thought it'd be a good idea as they walked down 22nd Avenue in Kenosha to pull down every stop sign at every corner they passed by. The police did not think it was a good idea, and they were taken in. I remember my mom taking her time to get to the police station with the thought that if he was going to act like a criminal, then he might as well see what it feels like to be one. Trust me, we all had our share of wooden spoons and groundings. And at the same time, she was a fierce defender of her kids. If she felt that her children were wronged, or anyone else for that matter was, she stood up for them. There was the time when I was 16 and we had a shared driveway with our neighbor. My girlfriend and I were parked in it, and our drunken neighbor came through on his motorcycle and almost sideswiped her car. We got out, words were exchanged, and he started coming at us. Mom ran out, got between us, and told us to go, leave. When she got mad, look out. She gave him a few choice words and called the cops. She was a mama bear when she had to be one. One tough broad. She was there, as Mike said, for every choir concert my sister was in, every sporting event my brother was in, and every show I was ever involved in. All this while being a single mother with 3 kids, 5, 6, and 10, when my father left, and working a full-time job with no other financial means of support. And speaking of shows, after she retired, She house managed and handled tickets for multiple plays that my wife Tina and I were in. She loved being a part of the theater, and she was good at it. Born again, never missed a show. As I look back, she had a confidence and the tenacity to tackle whatever it was she was trying to accomplish. Example. After one of the rehearsals for one of the plays she was house managing, I was walking her to her car from the theater. As we're walking, we were talking about the play, and she says, "Do you know, Doug, watching you direct," and I thought, here we go. She's going to tell me how proud she is of me. And she said, "You know, Doug, watching you direct, I thought I could do that." That's Mom. She loved to bowl, both on many a league. She held her own when it came to shooting pool. She shot a mean stick, and again on many a league. And in the last 5 years or so, she managed the Taste of Kenosha Facebook website. She was a true supporter and took pride in promoting local establishments. She was fiercely independent, loved the company of men, but didn't need one living with her anymore. Also, for those who don't know, our mother, Karen Candace Despin, as you know, over 30 years ago became known as Sugar, as Mike alluded to. And as a side note, Chris and I always said, "Ma." Early on, she used to criticize us for not saying what she felt was the more appropriate Mom, but it never stuck with us. It was always Ma. I think she eventually gave up. Listen, was she a perfect mother? There's no such thing as perfect anything. But in a room full of positives, I can maybe come up with a fistful of negatives. And whatever those negatives were, they weren't enough to ever lessen our love for our mother. She was our biggest supporter, and we hers, always. So the last 4 months were difficult. We witnessed the physical deterioration of our mother. Her mind was sharp, but her body broken. Bedridden, hospice was brought in, still living in her condo until she moved in with us for the last 7 weeks. With the help of hospice, it was a blessing that Tina, Aurelia, Kurt, and I were always around her, and we could provide around-the-clock care. I'm very proud that my family was able to accommodate my mother in the way she wanted. No hospital, in our home, with her family around her. As the days dwindled, her speech became harder to understand. At times she would drift off and speak to who or whatever it was she was talking to or about. About a week before she passed, Kurt, Aurelia, and I were in the room with her, sitting around her bed. In one of her more lucid states, she thanked us for taking care of her, told us how much she loved us, and we told her the same. Then out of the blue she said, "This is for Elvis. This is for Elvis." She asked whether we thought Elvis would be waiting for her, which we assured her he would be. Not being able to see anymore, I let her know that Kurt had left the room for a minute. "Where did he go?" she asked. "To the bathroom," I said. She replied, "That figures." She was herself to the end. The end came about a week later. As she always said before we left her house or she ours, or when closing every letter or card, "Love you lots. Love you lots." And as our daughter Aurelia would always respond, "I love you more. I love you more." Karen, Sugar, Ma, we love you more.
Well and beautifully said, Doug. It's obvious that Sugar was an exceptional mother, grandmother, and friend, an equal opportunity bringer of joy. Now, upon one's passing, many cultures believed that the spirit soared to the sky to be reunited with one's ancestors, their deities, and those who went on before them. The boundless blue sky represented limitless possibilities, eternities of happiness, and the release from the trials and tribulations of an earthly incarnation. Prayers and messages were often attached to sky lanterns and sent soaring up to the heavens to be united with their loved ones. Those who have ever lost someone know well the feeling of, I wish I could tell them one more time how much I miss them, how I cherish the times we had together, and to thank them for their love and companionship. Just one more time. You can, if you choose. In the lobby, you will find several helium balloons, accompanied by writing instruments. If you are so moved, feel free to pen a message to Sugar on a sugar balloon. Say what's in your heart, and send it aloft outside. You may also take one home, if you choose. Something tells me that she will know and appreciate the kind words and gestures. And by the way, the balloons are biodegradable, so the environment thanks you. Immediately following, there will be a gathering at the boathouse in Racine.
Kenosha.
For camaraderie and sharing treasured memories. Appetizers will be in attendance, and Sugar is buying their first round of drinks. In closing, thanks to all for attending. Sugar, we who love you mourn your passing. Yet we celebrate the 84 years of wisdom acquired and the copious amounts of love given to all who knew you. So if you would, please join me in one final thunderous round of applause for Sugar, sending her Godspeed and for a life well lived. Ladies and gentlemen, like Elvis, Karen has left the building.
Leave me alone. I